So, hello everybody. Thank you very much for being here this evening. It is 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. It's actually 1:15 in the UK. So, thank you very much for being faithful to our Monday webinars with the Mastermind Fever. So, my name is Aurora Jones, and I'm the co-founder with Lydia Brown of the Mastermind Fever team. And we come with a unique concept. Most of the time you attend a webinar and you simply listen to everything which has been said, but rarely you have the opportunity to present a webinar yourself unless you are, what we call a guru. Well, in the Mastermind Fever team, the idea is to have each and every one of you having this role of leadership and coming up with the goods. It doesn't have to be perfect for you to get started, but you have to start at some point. And this evening, we are going to have an amazing presentation. Sorry, an amazing presentation with Lindsay Hack, but I had the privilege to meet at the No Excuses Summit in Las Vegas. That is the reason why, again, you need to attend live events. The people that you meet online, you also meet them offline. And it was a real pleasure to meet Lindsay. She's a real leader. She has some proper fire in her belly, and she's dynamic, enthusiastic. She's brilliant. So this evening, she's going to share with us a great training called the 21st Century Leadership, inspired by the teachings of Darren Hardy. So now I'm going to pass the presentation over to Lindsay. She's going to check if her mic is working. So bear with us. And again, thank you very much for being here with us this evening.
All right. Can you guys hear me and see me? Just type in the chat box if that's yes or no. Yay! All right. Okay, guys, so my name is Lindsay, and I've been on this webinar with Mastermind Fever Group for a few months now, and I apologize in advance because I'm quite ill today, and I'm going to make it through this whether I want to or not. But so I just wanted to quickly introduce myself. The screen is not showing exactly what that says, but it does say a 21st century leadership. And it's with myself, obviously, and I just have some connections there on how you can connect with me outside of the Mastermind Fever group. Of course, there's my YouTube channel, my blog, Twitter, and Pinterest. And I think that we're going to have to still, Aurora, switch slides for me, do it manually for me. Okay, Aurora's saying just 1 second, so I'm just going to hold off on that. We were trying this out yesterday because I've never used this platform yet, and we ran into a few technology problems. So we discovered that the only way that I could speak and you guys could see me and hear me was if Aurora actually changed the slides. No, Aurora, it's not working on my side. It's the exact same problem we had yesterday. So I'm going to have to get you to go next if possible. All right. And I apologize too, I'm actually in a big woolly jacket right now. I teach a outdoor boot camp, and I just literally ran in the door from that, and it's pretty chilly here. I'm in Toronto, Canada, and it's definitely fall very, very quickly, and I froze my butt off while I was outside. And so I'm going to keep it on until I get warm, and hopefully that will be soon. Anyways, it's good to see some of the names I recognize from in here from the Mastermind Fever group. It's nice to say hello to everybody. Because I teach, I don't often get to jump on the Mastermind Fever group presentations every Monday, but I do try to get on as often as I can. And I would tell you a joke or something, but I've got nothing. It's been a hard day today. When you feel sick and your children do not, it's a bit of a struggle sometimes. All right, so really quickly, Aurora mentioned that I got to meet her at the No Excuses Summit. So down in that left-hand corner, you can see that's myself. I got to meet another Mastermind Fever group member, John Mark, and myself and Aurora in that picture. And so I joined the Mastermind Fever group, I think about a month or two after it actually started. I found it online. I got together with Aurora and we joined it. And the very next week that after I joined it was the first week that Lydia and Aurora challenged us to put on a webinar. And of course, I'm brand new. I know nothing. I'm not confident. And you know what? I thought, why not? I will just put up the challenge and go for it. And so I was one of the first 3 that did the very first webinar back in a few months ago. And you know, I say this every time I talk to Aurora, every time I talk to Lydia, and I have to thank them because it really encouraged me and inspired me to come out of the shell and to really focus on myself as a leader and allow other people to follow with me. And so, you know, this year I went to the No Excuses Summit, as Aurora said, and in the right-hand corner there is me with Ray Higdon. You know, I got to meet some of the great leaders there. And following the No Excuses Summit, I also set up exclusive one-on-one interviews with Ray Higdon, Tanya Eliza, Diane Hockman, just because of the confidence that I built throughout this Mastermind Fever group. In the top corner there, you'll see myself and my lovely husband, Ben, and my 2 little girls. I have a 3- and a 5-year-old, and they're absolutely, you know, the love of my life. And, you know, they make everything that I do the most important why. I want to stay home with them. I want to raise them. I want to be a part of their life. And long term, you know, I want to be with them as long as they want to be part of me. And I love this quote here, and it's really hard to see down in that corner, but it says, it doesn't really matter what other people see you, it's how you see yourself. And that's really what I look at when I think of the Mastermind Fever group. Because I, as I said, came into network marketing, came into the Mastermind Fever group with not a lot of experience, not a lot of you know, background. I had only been in network marketing a month or two. And so I really could have gone out, you know, being like, oh, I don't really know much. I'm not really sure how are things going. But instead, I decided to embrace, you know, groups like Mastermind Fever, groups like My Lead Systems Pro. If you don't know what that is, you know, definitely get in touch with us, because they're the things that really help me grow and become the person that I am now. So Aurora, can you go to the next slide for me, please? So one of the things that I truly believe is that, one, you always meet people for a reason, you know, and I joined the Mastermind Fever group and really allowed myself to open up. And so these are just some of the things that have happened since I allowed that to happen. You know, the top left-hand corner there is actually me receiving an award from my primary company. And, you know, I've been with them less than just a year now, and received this award at my convention that we were at in Arizona last month. Also, this you can't really read it, but it actually says that they chose me to speak on stage in front of, you know, the 1,000 people that were there. And again, without the help of the Mastermind Fever group, I would have never felt comfortable up there. And you know what, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I was comfortable, I was passionate, I, you know, had my 5 to 8 minute blurb, and it was amazing. I had a great time. You know, since then, I've also, you can see me in the very bottom of this corner, and if you don't know, that's Cesar Rodriguez in there, and then there's Pamela Herman, Christopher Hussey, and these are some major names within the No Excuses Summit and the MLM world, and I was on a hangout with them. And again, I would never have put myself out there if it wasn't for this group. Down in the bottom corner, that's our Girls' Night Out. I actually hosted a webinar, a hangout with Jessica Higdon, Tanya Eliza, Beth Jolly, and Pamela Herman, and then me. And, you know, I still look at that, and I look at that poster, and I'm just like, and me, Lindsay Hack, how do I get beside some of those amazing names? And really, it's all about what you're going to do and how you look at yourself. And that's why that quote on that first page is so important. I look at myself, and I truly believe that I am a strong leader. And in order to continually surround myself by leaders, and become them, that's really what I do. And this one here, you can't read it. This is just something that I absolutely love. I met a guy, you know, just randomly at a conference I was at, and he actually got connected with me online, found, got my website, and just wrote me this beautiful little note that basically said I was an angel that found upon him, and he watched my videos and absolutely loved this. And that's the power of networking. That's the power of being out there. But again, as Aurora said, the live event, this gentleman I met at a live event, the presentation I did at a live event, I got to meet these guys at the live event, and it's absolutely amazing, the leaps and bounds that you can make at live events. So Aurora, if you don't mind, to the next slide, please. All right, so again, you can't really read what that says, but it actually says, who is Darren Hardy? So for those of you who don't know, he actually is the editor and publisher of Success Magazine. And, this is a chair that was once occupied by some of the greatest. I mean, look at this, Napoleon Hill. He is one of the, the people in our industry that, everybody knows him. Everybody knows his books. He's amazing. And so Darren Hardy is a leader in personal development. He's been in the industry for 17 years. He's got television networks. He's a best-selling author of The Compound Effect and Living the Best Year Ever. He earned 6 figures at the age of 18, over $1 million by 24. He owned a company that produced $50 million a year by the age of 27. And you know what? He actually gets to sit down with some of the greatest CEOs, revolutionary entrepreneurs, superstar athletes, entertainers, Olympic champions, and ask them what makes them successful, what makes them such a strong leader. And because of that, he got to share so many great things with us. And I mean, this is a guy who obviously made $50 million a year at the age of 27. He's now 42. So he has learned so much and he's grown so much. And so when he talks, we all listen. And I know for a fact that my company paid $25,000 per night. I got to see him 2 nights per night for his presentation. So this is stuff that honestly is unbelievable, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it really was some great golden nuggets for us as leaders in this industry. All right, Aurora, next page for me. Okay, so 21st century leadership, what's it all about? And basically what we talk about is that today's truths actually hurt a lot. And, we need to be realistic. We need to understand what today's leadership is going on. And so the unemployment rate, 11.5 million. Okay, long-term unemployment is actually 27 months or longer. Okay, graduates without a job are 54%, or 6 million people. And then the median income, so the people who actually have jobs, their median income is actually way below average of only 27,000 a year. And the reality is that these jobs are not coming back. Okay, so that's the bad news. But the good news is that millionaires are on the rise. All right, so in 1900, there was 5,000 millionaires. In 1950, there was 100,000 millionaires. By 1980, a million. By 2020, they're projecting to be 20 million millionaires. And he truly believes, based on talking to all these people who either are millionaires or super successful, that the key skills needed to capitalize on these millionaires, for you to be part of this 20 million millionaires projected in the next 8 years, is to understand 21st century leadership skills. So that's what I'm going to talk you through today. So there's several economic shifts that are causing this acceleration, of the different millionaires. And they basically are technology, knowledge, globalization, and a demographic majority. So technology, think about this, guys. So in this 100 years, so 21st century, in this 100 years, we're not going to experience 100 years worth of progress. In technology, we're going to experience 20,000 years worth of progress. That is massive. Right? Knowledge, all the information created in 2003 is done every single day. Every single day. So the example that we use is that, look at our iPhone. Okay, it's a mini computer that has more capability in it than the computer the size of a bedroom had, in 2003. So every single day we are learning and creating more knowledge and technology. And then globalization. Okay, we're not just at your mom and pop shop down the street, at the butcher shop. Okay, it is the competition is global and your sales are global. And then demographic majority. So the millennial generation, which is the 1980s to the 1990s, are actually the largest entering the workforce. Okay, in 4 years, they're going to be half of the workforce out there. By 2020, they're going to be holding the majority of leadership positions, and there's going to be 5 generations in one workforce. So we need to really understand what that looks like when it comes to leadership. And then here's a really interesting fact, that there's more women than men, and that the stay-at-home dads have doubled in the last few years. So it's not your daddy's leadership. And this is a great quote that he talked about, because in my generation, my parents and their parents' generation, it was this way or the highway. It was, use a strap if necessary. It was, you listen to me, military style. It's not like that anymore. And I'm sure you've noticed that if you have children who happen to be in the millennium world, or if you have friends or family members that are there, they're a very different breed. And I can say that because I'm not one of them. And there are times where I just, kind of put my hands up and I just think, I just don't get it. So in order for us to understand and become strong leaders, we need to understand what 21st century leadership will do for us with our group. All right, so leaderships now, okay? So a leader is not a manager or a boss. Okay, so any of you guys who have jobs, your job, where you have a manager or a boss, a leader is somebody who models behavior. A boss is somebody who tells you how to do it. Okay, a leader is somebody who does it themselves first, and a boss is someone who pushes you to get it done. A leader leads by example from the front, and they get everybody to follow behind them. Where a boss pushes you kind of from like the lifeguard chair, yells orders down and tells you what to do. A leader says, let's go, where a boss says, you go. All right, a Winston Churchill quote that I love is, I no longer listen to what people say, I just watch what they do. And this is so true when it comes to leadership versus bosses. Okay, so one of the biggest problems, though, that we have with leadership is that 75% of the people consider themselves in the top 10% of the leadership ability. So this quote is absolutely amazing, and I'll be honest with you, I was probably part of this as well. We tend to judge others by their behavior, but ourselves by our intentions. Okay, let me read that one again because it's really powerful. We tend to judge others by their behavior. So think about your team members, the people below you. You always judge them by what they do, but we tend to judge ourselves by our intentions. Well, I'm going to do this, or I might try that, or I know I'm going to be great. Well, we need to really focus on what we are doing as leaders so that people will follow us. So how do you get people to do what you want them to do with you? And the most important two questions that you have to ask is, what attributes do you want? Okay, as a leader, what attributes do you want to bring people into? And then number two, do you have those and demonstrate them on a daily basis? So think about a person that you would love to work with. Okay, that person that you would choose, who wish you had sponsored you into MLSP, for instance, into your primary company, into any company. Think about that person really hard. Okay, put them in your brain and think about it. Now ask yourself, why did you think about that person? Why did you pick that person? Okay, and then now ask yourself, would you choose yourself to sponsor you? Okay, and that's a pretty powerful question, because if you're in a room of 1,000, would you choose yourself to sponsor you, and would everybody else choose you as well? And so this is really where we're trying to explore and what we're trying to get to today. So next slide for me, Aurora, please. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at some action steps, okay? And you don't need to worry about writing this down. Part of this is going to be a takeaway challenge for you to join me in this leadership development. So action step number one is write down all the attributes that are important to you. And I need to stress this to you because everybody's going to have different attributes that are important to them. Right? So what I did is I did exactly what I just told you to do. Think of that person that you really, 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 really would love to work with. Why? And then pick some of the attributes that they have that you were attracted to. Okay, so what I did is I went through and picked different attributes that were important to me, and then I rated them on a scale of 1 to 10. So passionate, accessible, ambitious, authentic, honest, strong communication, confident, initiative, ability to inspire, caring, balanced, motivational, visionary, ethical. Okay, influence, encourage others to succeed, self-improvement, approachable, integrity, humility, strategic, focus, serve others with nothing in return, sense of humor, modest, and accountable. Now, those are what were important to me. And then what I did is I went through and I rated them from 1 to 10. Now, obviously, if they're really important to you, I'm hoping there's no 1s and 2s, even 5s on there, because you probably picked the ones that are most important for you. But then what you do is you look at those and you pick your top 12. And it's called the 12 attributes of leadership. Next slide for me, Aurora, please. Okay, so the best way to attract people to you is to be the person you want to attract. So in my case, I picked these as my top 12. Strong communication, passionate, honest, ability to inspire, self-improvement, approachable, help and expect nothing in return, focus, accountability, integrity, and confident. Now, those were what are important to me. So now remember, when you do this, if you do this, you need to think about what's important to you and not copy what's important to me, because that's not going to help you at all. Okay? Next slide for me, Aurora, please. So I picked these 12, and then what I really wanted to do was dig deep and explain to myself what these 12 meant. So strong communication. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. I truly believe that's so important when it comes to communication. Okay, there's no passion to be found plain small. It's settling for a life that is less than the one that you're capable of living. Okay, passion is so important. You need to be oozing passion out of you. Honesty, there's no legacy so rich as honesty. Ability to inspire. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, and do more, and become more, you are a leader. Self-improvement, becoming addicted to the constant and never-ending self-improvement. Approachability, okay? As a leader, you don't only lead. You must also stay open and listen. You must embrace compassion and emerge empathy. Making yourself approachable and accessible is a secret to ingredient of great leadership. Okay, give and expect nothing in return. The real measure of a man's character is what he would do if he knew no one else would find out. Okay, focus. Most of what we say and do is not essential. It can only, if you can eliminate it, you make time and more tranquility. Ask yourself every moment, is this necessary? Accountability. We tend to judge others by the behavior and ourselves by our intentions. So this is a good one I love. Real integrity is doing the right thing, knowing that nobody else is going to know whether you did it or not. Confidence, be who you are, say what you feel, because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. And strategy, the essence of strategy is choosing what not to do. So I wanted to really understand fully what my 12 attributes meant. So that's why I went a little deeper for you guys. So next slide for me, Aurora, please. So now what you have to do, and this is the hard part, this is where you either decide to be honest with yourself, or if you continue to go on the same path that you're already on. You now take those 12 attributes that you believe are the most important and rate yourself against them. Okay? Yikes. It's hard, it's scary, and if you're true to yourself, you will probably find some great areas of improvement. Okay, so I did this and I'm sharing it with you. You know, I rated myself, and now you're probably 2 types of people. You're either 1, too hard on yourself, or 2, too easy on yourself. I don't usually find people in between. Now, I tend to be a little bit hard on myself, but you know why? Because I strive to be better. I want to do more. I want to get better. So I rated myself on this scale of 1 to 10, and I gave myself this. So now, not only am I understanding what I think is important from a leader perspective, I now know the areas that I can improve on as a leader. Now, if you really want to grow as a leader, and this is even bigger, is ask your team, ask your mentor, ask your leaders to rate you against your 12 attributes as well. Okay, not their 12 attributes, your 12 attributes. And now it's a big thing because you're asking people that see you as a leader, rating you, people who you mentor with, you lead with, rating you as well. And again, it's a big ask. But if you want to grow into the leader that you know you can be, this is one of the best steps to do it. Next slide for me. All right, and then once you have your 12 attributes, you go and rate your top 5 leaders on your team and rate them. Okay, so now you have your top leaders, and you go in through every single one of these attributes and you rate them. How are they rated against your 12 most attributes of leadership? Because in the end, we're looking for leaders who are going to take the reins and continue to lead themselves. So if you find that 2 of your leaders don't come anywhere close to your 12 attributes, you need to decide if it's something you want to work on with them, or if it's something that you want to let go and move on to keep finding other people. And then once you work with those leaders, explaining to them why you're doing all this, your leaders are then going to be asked to do this themselves. Now, they're going to find their 12 attributes, which may be different than yours, and that's okay, but their 12 attributes, then they're going to rate themselves, and then they're going to ask you to rate them as well. And it's a really, really good learning time to go and find out what needs to be improved, what can be worked on, because nobody's perfect. We already know that. Even the most successful are not perfect, and they hold up their hand to say they're not. Next slide for me, please, Aurora. Okay, so to become a better leader, you need to invest in yourself and your personal development. I mean, that is key. It's one of those things, you read 20 pages every day, you take courses, you attend live events, you invest in your personal development, whatever it may be. You write down your goals and you make a plan to execute it. I don't know how many times you hear this. Now, I come from a personal training background, and all we ever say to our clients is write down your goals, plan to execute them. If you don't have your goals down, you won't be successful. If you fail to plan, you'll plan to fail. Again, we hear it over and over and over again, but the population of people who actually follow this is less than 5%. So we know it works, but only 5% or less do it. So you want to become a better leader? Soon as we're done here, write them down. Plan it out. And don't make excuses about it. Just go and do it. Work deeper with fewer people. I'm going to explain that one in a minute because I love this aspect of the presentation, and I really want to talk a little bit further about it. Surround yourself with leaders that inspire you. This is huge, right? In this group, we have some amazing leaders. They inspire me every single day. I'm surrounded by leaders that I truly believe are amazing in this industry, and I want to be around them because I want to be and learn as much as I can from them. I'm like a sponge, sucking everything in. So if they inspire you, you want to be with them. If they don't, get rid of them. They're not helping you in any way, shape, or form, right? Be around the people who inspire you. And then if somebody has something you want, look at what they're doing and go after it. Okay, every single leader out there, and I mean every single top-notch leader out there, will share with you their secrets. They don't close the book. They don't close the door. They don't say, no, we can't share. Those are our secrets. Every single one of them. You know they're a true leader when they do it. When I did some of my exclusive interviews with Ray Higdon and Tanya Liza and Lisa Grossman, I did say to them I was really, really happily surprised that they were interested in sitting down with little old me to do an interview. And most of them said, you know what? If more people asked, we would do it without even question. But the problem is people don't ask. We're willing to share with anybody. It's just a matter of being 10 times bolder, as Cesar Rodriguez says, and going out there and asking them to ask them some questions. It doesn't take much. It just takes your own guts to get out there and do it. Okay, so work with few people deeper. For those of you who are at the No Excuses Summit, you probably remember Christopher Hussey's presentation called Driving Lines. This is very similar. It's a little bit of a different take on it, and this is Darren Hardy's way of doing it. So he says to spend more time with the right people. He says even if you don't know the best people, you can find them. And he says you don't know enough people, but we can find them in places that we can do. So the example that I use, I went to Arizona for my conference a few weekends ago. And in the airport, I'm just chatting, as you do, because it's networking and whatever. And I met a guy who was actually on his way from Chicago to Arizona to start college for the first time. And I was asking him how he's doing and, how things are going. And, he's very excited and what have you. Anyways, had a conversation, got his phone number, talked to him a little bit more, and have been in contact with him. Now, Jonas has started his first year of college. Okay. And so he, on a social scale, rated himself about a 3 out of 10. That basically means he doesn't have a ton of money. Most of his friends are college kids or high school kids still who don't have a lot of money, who don't know a lot of people, who aren't very influential. And a lot of the leaders will tell you to start at the top and work your way down. So Jonas says he's a 3. So Aurora, go to the next slide for me, please. So we're going to focus on Jonas because Jonas is a great guy. We love him, and I want to work with him. So he's given himself a 3. Next slide for me, Aurora, please. Now, Jonah, he knows 3 people that are in his social circle. Okay, so Jonah's roommate is Mark, and he's about a 3 too, because really he goes to college as well. He doesn't have a ton of money. He only knows so many people. And then Jonah's sister. Sorry, I made a mistake there. Jonah's sister is Mary. She's in high school. She's a 2. But then Mark's cousin Annie is a 4. So now we're not saying not work with Mark and Mary. But because Annie is a 4, we want to work with her. Now again, Mark, Jonah, and Mary can all come along and learn, but we're going to spend more time with Annie because she's a 4, and we're going to find more people with her. Next slide for me, please, Aurora. Now Annie's going to be a 4, and then actually next slide again, that's just a pretty picture of Annie being a 4. Now Annie's going to talk to you about her warm market. And in her warm market, she has a roommate named Jessica, she has a sister named Marla, and she has a cousin named Jack. And again, Marla and Jack are fours. Okay, they know some people, but some of them aren't that interested, and they're great, and they're going to come on board, and they're excited, and then they signed on. But Annie's roommate Jessica is a 5. Okay, so she's a 5 out of 10. So we're getting a little bit stronger, and so we're going to work with Jessica. Now that's not to say that Marla and Jack and Annie and Jonah and all those other guys can't come and join us and learn from that. It's like on-the-job training. But we're going to spend most of our time with Jessica. Next slide for me, please, Aurora, and then you can move on to the next slide, because again, it's just a pretty picture of Jessica, who's our 5, and then next slide. So now with Jessica, we're going to talk to her about her warm market. Jessica's roommate is Marlene. She has a sister named Marnie, and then her friend, his name is Ron, and he's now a 6. So that's not to say Marlene and Marnie can't come along, and Jessica and everybody else can't come along, but we've found Ron, and we're going to work with Ron because he's a 6. Now you can see how we're working with fewer people deeper. So Ron is now a 6. So we are doing much stronger. We're getting into our stronger. Now Ron's warm market is, we have his roommate, it's Mark, his sister is Jen, and his friend is Rebecca. Now you can see his people of influence are getting higher. Okay, his sister Jen is a 7. So we're going to work with Jen. Now Ron is still going to be working with us. Mark is going to be working with us. Rebecca, everybody. Jonah's still coming along if he wants to. But we're working deeper and deeper. So now Jen's a 7. Next slide for me, Aurora, and keep moving again to the next one. So now Jen's our 7, and she has her level of influence and her warm market surrounding her. So with Jen, her mom is Marie. She's an 8. So Jen's brother Bill is a 7, and Jen's friend Sarah is a 6. So again, we want to work with all of them, but we're going to focus our time and energy on Jen's mom, Marie, because she's an 8, and her level of influence and her people and her strength are going to be there. All right, move to the next one for me, Aurora. So Marie is an 8, and then move to her warm market. So Maria, who is Jen's mom, is our 8, and she is really, really, really excited. She's ready to go. She's strong. And now we look at her warm market. So her friend Beth is an 8, her brother Dale is a 7, and now Marie's friend Melissa is a 9. Oh yeah, she's a 9. She's a good catch. We're going to talk to her. We're going to work with her. Now Dale and Beth and Maria and Jonah and all of the guys who still want to come with us can. Now in that group of people, for a fact some of them have quit already. We already know that. Statistics proves that people are going to quit, and that's okay. We're going to continue to build. So now let's go to Melissa. Next slide, Aurora, please. Melissa is a 9. Melissa is power. She's excited. She's got a huge warm market. And next one for me too, Melissa's warm market is great. And she's got a friend, Jane. She's a 9. She's got another friend, Matt. She's a 9. And bam, there's Melissa's mother, Barb. She's a Supreme Court judge. She's got very high influential people. And all of a sudden, by working with fewer people deeper, you have found your 10 out of 10. And you're going to work with them, and they are going to become your next leader. And so you can see how by working with fewer people deeper, it's like quality over quantity, right? 100 people could do the work of 1. So Barb could do as much work as 100 people that you work with Jonah and his 3 out of 10. Now, granted, Jonah's still power on. He's doing great. He's loving life. He's making a ton of money because all of these people who are on this line, including Melissa and Melissa's mom, Barb, are doing fantastically. So you can see how this is a really, really strong way to grow your team as a strong leader and work with only a fewer people a little bit deeper. Okay, oh, there's Barb. She's our 10. Yes, we're awesome. Next one for me, please. Okay, so let's just recap that for a second, okay? So more time with the right people, all right? So again, you can work with lots of different people, but if you work more time with the right people, your team will grow and your leadership will shine. Okay, even if you don't know the best people, you can find them. Okay, so I had no idea who Barb was. I had no idea who Melissa was. I never met any of these people. I just connected with Jonah. And Jonah was able to connect me all the way down to Maria and to Barb. And those were our leaders. And then you do not know enough people. I do not know enough people. You do not know enough people. Aurora, Ray Higdon, any of the major players out there, they don't know enough people. So we have to continue to work with people to find the right people. Okay, so here is my challenge for you. This is the takeaway challenge for you. Do you know that something like 95% of people who read motivational quotes, who watch motivational videos, who watch a webinar like this, who go to amazing events like No Excuses Summit, who go to Live the Dream, who go to, Eric Worre's events, what have you, actually don't do a single thing after they return. So my challenge to you is, do not be one of those percent. Okay? Do not. Do this takeaway challenge. Consider yourself a leader right now that's looking to get stronger. Okay? I have the 21st Century Leadership Worksheet, and I want you to find all the attributes that are important to you. Okay, and if you're not sure, think of that person, like I said to you. Think of that one person that you would sign up with, that you wish you had signed up with, that you would love to pick their brain about every single thing that you could, and see what attributes they have, because those are probably the ones that attract you the most. Okay, rate them and pick the top 12. Okay, now rate yourself against these 12 and be honest. Okay, it's a good learning experience. It's hard sometimes to see some of the numbers a little lower than you probably expected them to be, but be honest, because it will help you understand your areas of improvement. Now take your 5 leaders and rate them against your 12 attributes, and have your 5 leaders rate you against those 12 attributes. And then get your mentor, get your leader, ask them to rate you against those 12. Remember, in order to attract the right people, you need to be that person first. This exercise will help you get there. Okay, I want you to post in the Mastermind Fever group when you plan on starting, when you plan on finishing, and what you expect to get out of it. Because you know what? We need to keep ourselves accountable. We need, as leaders, to keep ourselves accountable, and that is what the best part about this Mastermind Fever group is. If you don't already have a mastermind partner, go out, throw your name out there, say, I need a mastermind partner, find me one. Okay, who's going to come talk to me? I have my Mastermind Fever partner and I, Nicole, we do a ton of things together. We do so many different challenges. We just did this big Eat That Frog challenge, which was horrible, fantastically horrible, which if you don't know, I posted a video. It's basically doing the things you don't want to do first. And so we've created a 5-point list on things we really didn't want to do. That's what the accountability is for. So my takeaway challenge to you is, don't be the person who watches this, who listens, who comments on how great it is and thinks, yeah, Lindsay, you're awesome, and all of those things, because I've seen some of the comments, and thank you guys, it's amazing. I love being here. I love showing you guys this stuff. I love teaching this, but I want you to take it to the next level. Don't be the person who watches it, or who watches the motivational video or watches the motivational quote and doesn't do anything about it. So next slide for me, please, one more time, and this is the last one, Aurora. So what I've asked you to do is, sometime today, I don't know when, I was sick, as I said, my brain was kind of all over the place. I posted this picture in the Mastermind Fever group. Okay, it basically talks about being around people who are doers, believers, dreamers, and no one else. I want you to like and share that photo on your timeline, and I want you to state, I am committed to becoming a great leader. And that is what you have to do, and I will send you your worksheet to evaluate yourself and your teammates. Okay, so I am committed to becoming a great leader. Pronounce it. Send it out there to the world. Show people that you're ready to do it. And I promise you, if you put yourself through this leadership evaluation worksheet, you will find so many amazing things. And now, from my experience, I went to this Darren Hardy. I told you there's about 1,000 people at this presentation. We had him for 2 nights. Of the close-knit people that I know of, at least 40. Do you know how many people have done this evaluation workshop? Who do you think that one is? Okay, so I've done it and everyone else has not. And so that's what I'm saying to you. Do you want to be the leader you've always wanted to be? This is a step in the right direction. And if you're looking at this and being like, I don't need that, that's fine, I'm good, I'm great, that's awesome too. If that's the case, fantastic, don't worry about it. I truly believe that you can become better, and this is the way to do it. And if Darren Hardy, who gets to interview, the presidents and, the CEOs and all these crazy people, thinks that it's a good idea, I kind of think I would agree with them. But all you need to do is take that photo, share it, write on your timeline, I am committed to becoming a great leader, and I will send you that worksheet for you to start this journey. It doesn't have to be today. It doesn't have to be tonight. It doesn't have to be in the next week. Everybody's busy. I know you have things going on. I don't want to take that away. However, I do think that you should make it a priority in the sense of trying to get it done. Put it in the Mastermind Fever group that you are committed to doing it. Once you share it on your timeline, I'll send you the information, and then stay accountable. Post your updates. Let us know how it's going. I would love to connect with you further. Just find me on Facebook if you haven't already been there. You'll join my chat, come on my Pinterest, anywhere you want to come. I'd love to share with you. I'd love to give you more details, and if not, help you along the way, because this is a very challenging, very, very challenging exercise. But if you do it right, you will learn so much about yourself and so much about how you can be a great leader. So that is it with me. That's all I've got for you. If you have any questions, I know we only have a few minutes. If anybody has a specific question they want to throw in the chat, you can do that now. Otherwise, you can find me on Facebook. You can throw up a question. But let's get committed and say, I am committed to becoming a great leader, and I will send you the worksheet, and you can get yourself started right away. Over to you, my darling.
And everyone, sorry you can't see me tonight. I'm having trouble with my webcam. Isn't that wonderful? Another wonderful Mastermind Fever Monday night webinar. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay, this was powerful. Um, the bells and whistles were going off in my head. I've heard of this exercise a long time ago, and I mean many years ago, and I was one of those people, that percentage that I started it and then I choked up when I had to go ask my mentors to rate me. I was doing fine on my own, but I'm going to try this again because it is powerful, and there's the knowledge you'll learn about yourself and how you think about yourself. There was I remember when I did mine, I was so hard on myself, and when I looked at it, I was like, come on, you've accomplished some things. You can't be that bad. So I did it over. I had this little fear I'd be too soft or too strong. So I just went all the way complete to the other side, and then it got better. So I got to pat myself on the back and then see some limitations and get to work. But like I said, I had got stuck. So I would like to do this again. This was really great. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for attending. If you do come up with some questions or get stuck, let Lindsay know in the Mastermind Fever group. And I hope all of us follow through with the evaluation. Even if you don't feel comfortable to post in the group, just do it. She took a wonderful time to help us with this growth. Sometimes people forget about personal development. We want to know all the tools and things, but without the personal development, you will hit an impasse. Your business won't grow, you won't grow. So thank you all. And next Monday we have um, Markel. No, what's the gentleman's name, Aurora, that's doing the training next week? I'm sorry, I forgot. It's Markel. Great video marketing. My pal, my Mastermind Fever partner, Aurora Jones. She always helps me out when I get stuck. All right, there you go, Markel. We're looking forward to this video marketing. You know, video marketing is still really hot. So Monday night's going to be a special place, and everybody try to come, invite a friend. When you see the events go up, please jump in and invite your friends. Don't just tell us you're going and register. Get your friends to join. Let's help some other people grow. Mastermind Fever has done a lot for all of us, and we need to share that with others. So that's all for me. Aurora, you want to take it away?
That was simply powerful. I thank you so much again, Lindsay, for taking the time to put this great presentation together. We had a tremendous time. I can read loads of fantastic comments there. So thank you, everyone. We've got Sherilyn, who is saying it's going to take a lot to post that on my page. I'm committed to becoming a great leader. So that was very, very, very informative. And as Lydia said, sharing the information with your own leaders to see how they would rate you is actually quite scary, but necessary, because we all want to grow and do great things. So that being said, Lindsay said everything, Lydia said everything. So I'm just going to say thank you so much to everyone for attending this evening webinar. And remember to share the information on your page as well as in the Mastermind Fever team. And Monday, we're going to have a level 2 leader in MLSP. It is going to be exciting. It is exciting to be part of MLSP. It gives you so much hope that it is possible to make money online. And I can't wait to see you again next week, guys, and throughout the week in the Mastermind group. So have a great evening, guys, and see you later. Bye-bye.